Welcome to A New Life podcast with Pamela Jean, where it's all about empowering women to empower more women. Get ready, friends, to create a new life. And here is your host, Pamela Jean.
Hello and welcome to A New Life podcast. This is Pamela Jean, ready to talk to you today about creating a balanced life and a balanced business. I am so excited to talk about this today. This is a women empowerment podcast today that really celebrates the strength and resilience of accomplished women all over the world. And we are going to work on balancing your career and your family together. Before we get started, if you have a friend or know someone that needs to hear this message, please share this podcast. If you would subscribe so you'll never miss an episode, and share the link with your friends, write a review. All of those things help us get seen and heard around the world and allows us to impact other women just like yourself. Because let's face it, friends, life is hard. And if you can align yourself with resources, friends, and people around the world to line with you and take the burden off a little bit, let's do it. Let's share and lift everyone up. Balancing a successful career with the responsibilities of the family life is no small feat. I've done it, still doing it. I'm sure many of you find yourself in that same place. It can be challenging, but gosh, it's so deeply rewarding. Today, we're going to explore practical strategies, and I'm going to share some inspiring stories and discuss tips to help you strike that balance between pursuing your dreams in the professional realm while nurturing the love and happiness of your family. I think every working mother would agree with me. It's hard. And mom guilt, that's a real thing. Work guilt, that's a real thing. You find yourself pulled in so many directions because we want to please everybody. That people-pleasing attribute that we have it's bittersweet. I mean, we want to please other people, but in that process, a lot of times we let ourselves be the victim. We're the one that gets hurt by being a people pleaser. First of all, we have the juggling act and setting of those priorities. We have to address the notion that achieving a perfect balance is unrealistic. Now, my signature course that I teach, Balanced Life, Balanced Business, is aligning everything to work together. Succinctly, everything is working together. Now, does it mean that every minute of every day you're going to be balanced in your life? Everything that happens over here is balanced over there? That's impossible. But what it will teach you is that there is an ebb and a flow between the balanced life and the balanced business. When you embrace the fact that there are times where you're going to have to spend a little more time on work because of a project or time of the year or whatever, you know that's coming. So you can set the priorities in the life sector of your life to help create that balance, to know that while I'm busy at work, this is how I'm going to facilitate and balance my life. We focus on setting priorities. You have to have priorities in your family life and priorities in your career life, and how you allocate your time and energy is going to ultimately define how successful you are in that juggling act. Give yourself grace for the times that you fall short, because if you're a working mom, you're going to fall short. You're not going to remember everything. I can remember a time of not getting my daughter signed up in time for cheerleading. I didn't know the deadline. I also didn't know to look for the deadline, but by the time I realized it, it was too late. And if you've ever done something like that with one of your kids, you know exactly how guilty I felt. I beat myself up for weeks and weeks and weeks. It was a pretty hard lesson for me to learn, but I will tell you this, I promise I never missed cheerleading signups ever again. because I did that once and made sure I would never do that again. But you have to set priorities, and you have to set good, solid, healthy boundaries around your priorities and put a line in the sand, even though, maybe financially there's a job you want to take that will bring a lot of money in, but it completely throws off the balance and doesn't line with your priorities. You have to let that go. You cannot take on things that violate your priorities. You absolutely have to have those balances, and you have to have those boundaries. Navigating career transitions. Women face unique challenges when it comes to adjusting careers or starting a business, such as returning to work after maternity leave or pursuing new opportunities while raising children. It's really hard to navigate that because I think our confidence is a little bit challenged when we want to make a career choice, when we want to make a career advancement, but your priorities are your children. Sometimes you have to look at your place of employment and take a good hard look at it. Maybe that's not the best place for you to work. If your moral compass and your ethics is very family-based and your company that you work for is not family-based, perhaps a complete career change is in order. You have to be able to work for someone or for a company or for yourself that lines up with your moral compass and your ethics. You can embrace all of the passions for a career and your purpose in your life. You just have to have those priorities lined up first. Behind every successful woman is a strong support system. You have to have open communication with your partner on how to share the responsibilities effectively. If you are both working, if both mom and dad are working outside of the home, you have to have very, very good, clear communication with your partner, with your husband. How do you share those responsibilities? If you've ever had a conversation with your husband about cleaning, for instance, their metric for clean is not the same as yours most times. To them, it's clean. To you, it hasn't even been touched in 2 weeks. So have clear communication about what clean looks like to you, what the expectations are to you, and share the responsibilities effectively. It may even boil down to, I'll pick the kids up Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You get the kids Tuesday, Thursday. I'll bring them Tuesday, Thursday. You bring them Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Divvy up the responsibilities and have really, really good communication. The power of building a network of like-minded individuals within your family community is really, really important. And I'm even talking about, so that's your spouse. We talk about the spouse, the dad who's going to help, carry some of the burden. But also if you have other family members in town, have them on call, backup. So in case something happens, you have backup people. Talk to your neighbors. Have backups. Don't think you can do it all yourself, and don't think that you have to do it all yourself, because you don't. You absolutely do not have to do it all yourself. Embrace flexibility and self-care. One of the biggest keys to maintaining balance lies in embracing flexibility and practicing self-care. Without the element of flexibility, you will be frustrated time and time and time again. I'm a very structured person. I have my block scheduling. Every minute of every day has a purpose. I work my business hours, and I'm very, very structured. Something that I've had to work on over the years, and I'm actually much better at it than I ever was in my early part of my career, was learning that flexibility, that sometimes, even if it is on the calendar and on the schedule, it doesn't mean that it's going to happen the way I want it to happen. Are you like that? I think that comes with a little bit of perfectionism and a little bit of the entrepreneurial mindset where, no, this is what I'm doing today. That can't not happen because that's on the calendar. I've really had to learn to embrace flexibility and not be a grumpy person whose calendar is challenged, because it would kind of throw me off sync a little bit. I'll be honest with you. You have to incorporate time for you to do something for you without feeling guilty. Your well-being and your self-care is so important for your ultimate success in your business and in your life. If you don't take care of you, your physical wellness, your physical health, your mental health, no one's going to do that for you. No one is going to do that for you. There isn't anyone that's going to step up and say, "Oh, I've got you on self-care today." No, you have to do your own self-care. Schedule twice a month time to have a night with a girlfriend for dinner. Go do something, get out of the house, step away from all the responsibilities of your career, your business, your family, and have a little bit of me time with some girlfriends. Maybe you just schedule one night a month for you to go to a movie all by yourself, or go sit in the park and read a book that you haven't been able to read. No one is going to make time in your life for self-care except for you. So you are in charge of your own self-care. Finally, I want to talk a little bit about what it means to have that balance. When you have a balance in your life and you have balance in your career, every day is a good day. Your life is a good life, and you will live it well. Now, I am not naive to say, or even think for a second, that it doesn't mean you're going to have bad times. Bad things are going to happen. You're not in control of the bad things that happen to you. What if you go into work tomorrow and they tell you, the company's filing bankruptcy and you're out of a job? What are you going to do? How will you feel about that? But it really goes hand in hand with your mindset and what you think about things that happen around you that you are not in control of. Having a balanced life and a balanced family life and a balanced career and business are 100% attainable. And friends, you're not alone on this journey. Together we can achieve these incredible things. Before I let you go today, this is kind of a short and sweet podcast today, but before I let you go, what questions do you have? What struggles do you have when it comes to balance? Do you feel like every day you run around with a chicken with their head cut off, and you're just going from thing to thing to thing to thing, and you don't feel like you've accomplished anything? Like you're busy, but nothing is being accomplished. And then everything you didn't get done today has to pile on to tomorrow. And what you didn't do tomorrow has to get piled on to the next day. That's a horrible cycle, and you need to stop that. Achieving that comfortable balance in your life is so possible and so doable. I want to give you just a little exercise. Write down 10 things that you feel need work as far as your balance in your life. 5 things for your life that's out of balance, and 5 things in your career and business that are out of balance. After you've written those 5 things down, then prioritize them. Number them 1 to 5, 1 being the biggest priority, 5 being the lowest priority, and start working on the number ones. Once you have that number 1 done, then move to number 2, and then move to number 3. Create a strategy to help yourself become back into balance. Maybe you simply have to start saying no more often. You're volunteering your time way too much, and now you have nothing left. That is the cause for life and work being out of balance. Because friends, everything you say yes to means you're saying no to something else. Keep that in mind. So I challenge you with that little exercise. See what you come up with. If you have any questions or concerns or roadblocks, my gosh, reach out to me, PamelaJean.anewlife@gmail.com. and let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about what we can do to help you create that balanced life. My friends, make it a great day. Remember, balance is possible. If you can believe it, it can happen. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Thank you for joining us today on A New Life podcast. We will see you next time.